Hey everyone, this is Chelsea with my presentation in Business of Graphic Design with Professor Gribble. Anyway, starting off with my cover letter, this is basically an introduction of me basically as my artistic self, where I have enrolled, my education, what mediums and such, and artistic values that I've worked in and what I'm really good in and such. And also a little mentioning of planning to continue my education, because right now I am still working towards getting my bachelor's degree in graphic design. So I am working towards that, but at the same time still honing and increasing my skills with certain mediums in both graphic design and traditional means. And all my personal information is at the top with the signature at the bottom. And a letter like this would be good if I were going to a company and such, and they're a little bit more curious about me. Next is my career plan. With my career plan, it's basically what I plan to do after I graduate with my bachelor's degree in graphic design. In this case, I plan to work as a freelance graphic designer for the time before moving into my actual goal. In this case, I want to be an illustrator that works in all forms of media. But being a freelance graphic designer will give me a chance to explore a bunch of different medias and mediums to work with, and give me a chance to further enhance my skills in some that I'm weak in. Like in this case, I'm a little low in web design, so that'll give me plenty of chances to practice and further hone my skills there. And here are my steps to success, which includes getting my degree and continuing my further skills, and also possibly taking a business class or two, just in case I plan to start my own business. Next is the Lean Startup Plan, which basically for this assignment we were to discuss a problem involving being hired with a company, or if I were to possibly hire someone with a company, which in this case, I discussed the problem of the risks and the goods of hiring a freelance graphic artist for possible. I offered up some good solutions and the key metrics. Then after that, discussed my basically myself with the USP, unfair advantage, my target market, my plans for self-promotion, and what my costs and revenue streams would be. Next would be the course project. Here's the title page, and moving forward, we have the production schedule. My plan was to create a simple but direct mail postcard. At first I was thinking maybe doing a poster, but I thought maybe a postcard would work just in case I need to give it to somebody. With my interviews for future companies or businesses, I had a few problems. I didn't know if I wanted to do a double-sided or basically one side, while the rest has basically the mail setup that is required with all the measurements and such, but I decided to do it double-sided. Most of my resources were all digital. I didn't really use any traditional means except for the rough sketches. And my schedule was to basically work on each part of the project a day before it was due. And most of it worked out, but one day I was stuck going to the hospital, so that didn't work out, but I did get it turned in and everyone was happy with it. My creative brief would be the communication problems, such as discussed with my business plan. The problem itself would be that I'm a new and fresh student and I might be rusty in a few fields, so some people might be, hesitant to hire me at the time. And my objective for the card was to simply show off my simple and creative skills as a form of potential for employers, basically to show my worth. I didn't want to be extravagant or anything. I just wanted it to be creative, simple, and hold my personality in a sense. Target market wise, I'm open to anybody and such, but for a business, I probably would like to go for someone more senior level. Basically someone who knows what they're doing and, not rusty like I would be, since I would be a fresh graduate. Tone of voice of the card, creative, professional, and simple. and also and possibly include some monster graphics, something my little personal touch. Here are the thumbnails and roughs. For the most part, I went with a bit of an abstract formation with monster elements of eyeballs, a few monsters here, and creatures in weird places. For the front covers, in this case, I decided to go front and back covers, so there was going to be like no mail slip or anything that you'd see with a normal postcard. These are the front covers, or some of the ones I possibly wanted to work with, 1 through 10, and the rest, altogether there was supposed to be 20. So 10 for the front and 10 for the back. The front was going to be more of the display, showing off the real creative elements, while the back of the card was to show basically all the information, the name, the address, the phone number, the business name, the logo, all that good stuff. In the end, through 1 through 10, I decided to go with 9, 6, and 2 for the front covers. And for the backs, I went with 11, 13, and 15. And nothing was official with them. These were just some ideas. And here are the first drafts. This was 9 and 13. This was 9 and 13 from the roughs. I was actually planning to work with further, because I got so much good feedback on them from fellow students and the professor. So that was the first one, 9 and 13. And upon feedback, some other students said I should switch some of the numbers, so instead I did 6 and 14, the background for 14 together. And for the last draft for the front and cover and back, I did 2 as planned, and 11. Each one did different typefaces, but each one did include my logo and some monsters and some formation on the front and back. 2 and 11 was a little more different. I went with more of abstract formation on the front with a little bit of monster elements. In this case, I did what is called, let's see, with vines in different colors that contrast through Adobe Illustration. Then applied some monsters on the back. So this was a little more professional looking, mixed with the elements, which turns out it did not work too well. So instead, any designs that didn't work, I was just going to save for later. For the final draft, I decided to mix it up again by going with 11 and 9 for the cover. I kept 9, but everyone kept saying that 11 looked much better instead of 13. Especially with the text layout, so that's what I went with, using Kenyan Coffee, Cambria, and a personal font, brushstroke, applied with my logo. All the information's on the front, well, the email and phone number, while the rest, basically my office and stuff, on the back. Finally, here are the screen captures on my LinkedIn and Behance page. There were a few problems, but I revised them. And if anyone still wants to check them out, the links can be found on the thing below. All these are some assignments from the past, including my postcard. These are some abstract paintings that have been personal. These are all sketches and drawings with basic pencil and traditional medias. And the rest is digital, with posters and a bunch of other different projects. Then with LinkedIn, the same thing, except it discussed more with different jobs that I've done. With this, I included freelance work and my current job, which is working at a towing yard. Basically, for financial means, it doesn't involve me doing anything artistic or creative, but, you know, puts food on the table and helps me pay my bills. And the last would be the homepage for my portfolio page. Online Adobe portfolio, I did make some changes in the text and such for the navigation and the websites, but other than that, my personal image and other images for projects, my contact information didn't change, so feel free to take a look at that. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and I'd love to hear some feedback from you. Thanks!